And how does a hotel create the ideal guest room? Well, there are hundreds of tiny details to be ironed out, and most of them happen in a motel room where trends, focus groups, online surveys, and hotel execs all converge. Here with the story is WSJ reporter Andrea Petersen. Andrea, thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
It sounds like a lot of cooks in that motel room there.
It's amazing how much data gets poured into figuring out how to create a guest room.
And between these surveys and the rest of it, who gets the final word?
Well, I traveled to the Innovation Lab at Marriott headquarters in Bethesda, Maryland, and this is where they do these mock-up model rooms when they are launching a new brand or they're doing a big renovation of a brand. And that, I mean, and first of all, Marriott does about every 5 years, and then supplemented with smaller surveys, these big surveys of travelers, finding out their likes and dislikes on a range of things. So they get a lot of data that way. But then, you know, they hire interior designers and they make a model room. And then they invite guests, usually, you know, loyal guests, and then also actually guests from competing brands to come and spend some time in there and to really kick the tires and to figure out, okay, does this, you know, lighting work? Are there enough outlets here?
Do people come in and dump their luggage on the bed, or do they use the luggage rack? Where do they put it?
I mean, it's interesting, and you really, you know, behavior differences actually really does change design.
Well, that's a good question, because how much has our behavior as travelers really changed through the years?
I mean, it's really actually changed pretty dramatically, and you can really see how that's trickling down into design. First of all, people don't tend to use a desk as much anymore, so desks are shrinking. Actually, Marriott's desks have actually gotten 25% smaller in the last several years because they're finding, what they found is that people are just as likely to work on the bed as they are in a desk.
And what about closets? Do people use
those? Are getting smaller too, much to the chagrin for some of us who are not. But they're finding that more people actually don't unpack their suitcases. And even if they do, they're just hanging up, you know, a dress, a blouse, a suit jacket, not much. So those are getting smaller.
And how are floors changing?
Carpets are out.
People don't like carpets. I'm glad to hear that. They always kind of give me the heebie-jeebies.
I'm with you too. I mean, I think it's more, I mean, it's perceived as more residential.
Yes.
You know, you're seeing hardwood floors sort of everywhere in people's lives, but also there is a suspicion that carpets aren't really that clean.
Yeah, I have that suspicion. But doesn't that create soundproofing problems if you take all the carpets away?
I mean, that's the thing. When the carpets go away, and then also the big armoires that used to house those clunky TVs, those have gone away too. But when you've got TVs smacked up against the wall and no carpets on the floor, yes, there can be sound issues. So there's actually to beef up the soundproofing in the floors and also in the walls.
Great. I love no carpets and better soundproofing. That's good. What about bathrooms? Are those going through any kind of evolution?
You know, it's interesting. You know, for a while there was sort of this arms race of like really luxurious bathrooms. But also what they found is Marriott's actually tinkering with a deconstructed bathroom. And what that means is that you have your toilet and your shower in one area, and then the sink actually is open to the room. And the thinking is that if you're traveling with a partner, that you can, while they're in the shower, you can be doing your makeup.
I like that. My husband and I could use one of those at home. It's a lot better. It's so interesting. So when do most of these changes, when will we see most of these changes in the actual hotel?
I mean, you're already seeing them already. I mean, this is sort of happening, you know, but another interesting thing is that even once a hotel room is made, there's a lot that can actually be tinkered with afterwards. You know those guest satisfaction surveys that most of us probably ignore. Actually, all but 1% of us actually fill those out.
They pay attention to those.
They pay attention to those, and they actually use those. Marriott was telling me that one of their hotels, they found, you know, they immediately started getting guest feedback that the lighting in the bathroom didn't work. I mean, wasn't working well. And what they found is actually, I guess, for the lighting, for you to be able to do your makeup nicely without getting awful shadows on your face, it needs to be a certain distance away and from the mirror. And so it was off, and they were able to fix that.
A better guest experience. Andrea Petersen, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.